my nearsightedness is not a tomorrow problem, it's a today problem. It was a yesterday problem, but I didn't really know how to fix it. Now that I know how to fix it, it's a today problem. It's not a tomorrow problem. I need to deal with it right now. Hi everyone, my name is Nagar. I used to wear glasses my entire life. I still wear glasses by the way, but I used to have really high myopia at -5.5, and I'm on a journey to reverse my eyesight back to 2020 completely naturally. And I found a method that works, and I really, really want to share it with you guys because I feel like not many people know, and it needs to be common knowledge. In a year and a half, I was able to go from -5.5 to -3, and it's so amazing. So this video is really going to be a story time about how I found this method, all the other things that I've tried before. It might be a little bit of a long video, but check out the timestamps and you can follow along wherever you like. So starting from the very beginning, I was not born with myopia. So I had perfect 20/20 vision as a kid. I had perfect 20/20 vision up until 6 years old. That was the last perfect eye exam that I did. And my parents also have perfect 20/20 vision. Even right now, like neither of my parents have myopia or have ever had myopia in their lives. And no one in my extended family has myopia, by the way. It's just me and my sister. And so for me, I started wearing glasses when I was around 10 years old. And the reason why I got glasses is because I was sitting down in the living room one day with my sister and we were watching TV. And back then we didn't have the flat screen TVs. We had those like small cube like fat ones, if you remember those. So we were watching TV, and yeah, it was a smaller screen. I'm gonna give myself credit, but I was sitting a little bit too close in front of the TV. Both of me and my sister were sitting too close, and my dad saw us, and he's like, "Why are you sitting so close?" And my dad has perfect, like, he has better than perfect. He has 20/15 vision. He's like, "Go sit further back," and we looked at him. We're like, "We can't see." And so he took us to the optometrist, and sure enough, we both got glasses. And I don't remember the very first prescription, but I think it was around like -1. It was something really low. It was definitely not -5. Okay. I started off very low. When I first got glasses, I felt like the world was really clear. Um, and I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to wear glasses, and these glasses are going to help me gain back my eyesight. I never thought that it was going to be a permanent solution. I thought it would be temporary. But unfortunately, my eyes got worse and worse. I unfortunately wore my glasses everywhere all the time. I wore them outside, I wore them inside, I wore them at school, I wore them looking down at a book, even though I could see that distance without my glasses. I listened to my optometrist. My optometrist told me, wear your glasses all the time, otherwise, your eyes are going to get worse. And I didn't want my eyes to get worse, so I wore my glasses all the time. But because I wore my glasses all the time and I looked up close using my distant vision glasses, the glasses that you're supposed to see 20/20 at, I I eventually got myopia. My eyeball elongated and I got myopia, and it just got worse and worse. And every year I would go to the optometrist and I would get a higher prescription, whether it was like like 0.5 higher or 1 diopter higher. And I think I was around like 13 or 14 years old. That's when I started really hating my glasses. I just hated them. I hated how they felt on my face. I live in a colder environment. I live in Canada. So you would go outside and it would be cold, and then you would wear glasses, and the glasses would make your face even more cold. And I just hated that. I hated, like, I liked sports. I hated like having a sweaty face and glasses on me. It was really bad. But I kind of accepted it. I hated it, but I accepted it. And I was really looking for a way to get out. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I should try contacts. I started contacts when I was 15 years old, and I wore contacts for about a year. And literally, so me and my sister, we both got contacts at the same time. We wore our contacts, and literally a year after, both of us like probably within the same week. Both got really bad, like dry eyes. Our eyes felt really stingy. And we just realized that we can't wear these anymore full time. So contacts became a temporary thing. I wore them in the water when I went swimming or if I was doing other sports. And I went back to wearing glasses and I hated them, but I just kept wearing them. And then I think I was around 20 years old. Around that time, my dad just heard from one of his coworkers that if you drink pomegranate juice, then you will get your eyesight back. So apparently, his coworker drank a bunch of pomegranate juice and saw that his myopia got better. So my dad's like, "Oh, let's do this. Let's try the pomegranate juice." And so my family, we went to Costco and we got these like big jugs of pomegranate juice. And my sister would be drinking them like 1 or 2 cups a day. We didn't even think it was gonna work, but we thought, oh, let's just try because we were so desperate. So we tried the pomegranate juice. Of course, it didn't do anything, but we were really hopeful. And then one day we went to the optometrist. It was around that time because I remember talking to the optometrist about it. It was me, my sister, and my dad. We went to the same optometrist to get all of our eyes checked. And so my dad went first. And of course, he was better than 2020. He was like 2015 vision. And then my sister went, she was like at the same prescription. I don't remember what it was, like -4 or something. And then I went and my prescription increased again. And I think I was around like -4.5 or -4.75 at that time. Um, but I don't remember exactly what my prescription was, but it was really high. And I was so annoyed. Like I was 20 years old. I was at that age to like start questioning things and really like asking questions instead of just accepting what was really being told to me. So turned to the optometrist and I said, why is my eyesight always getting worse? Like, what am I doing wrong? Can you please tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can fix it? I don't want it to keep getting worse. And he's like, oh, it's okay. You're growing. Um, it's genetics. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm pointing to my dad. I'm like, my dad has perfect 2015 vision. Okay, that's better than perfect. What kind of a genetics are you talking about? And he's like, oh, does your mom have glasses? And I said, well, my mom does have glasses. By the way, my mom, she got glasses for astigmatism, okay, not myopia when she was a kid. It was like a really small prescription, like zero 0.5 or something. She never wore glasses, and of course, her eyes never got worse. And she just had them in the car and uses them whenever she needs to drive. And she doesn't even use them now, anyways, by the way. And I was like, yeah, my mom wears glasses, but at that time I didn't know it was just astigmatism. And he's like, there you go, genetics. And I said, okay, fine. I don't know. What about pomegranate juice? I asked him, like, what about pomegranate juice? We've been drinking this. Is it going to help? And then he's like, he just laughed it off. Like, that's not going to work. And then my dad said, well, what about laser eye surgery? We've been hearing about this LASIK that a lot of people are getting. Is that good? Like, do you recommend it? And like me and my sister, we never really liked the idea of laser eye surgery at all, but it was an option. A lot of people were doing it. And so we asked the optometrist, and he turned to my dad. He's like, I will not let my own daughter get laser eye surgery. Like, it's too risky. I will not recommend it. But even if you want to get it, like, wait until you're 25 years old and then we can talk. And so I was 20. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll forget it. So then we went home. I kind of forgot about this whole trying to get rid of my glasses thing for a few years. And then one day I was actually working abroad in Germany, and I went to the cafeteria. I was sitting at a cafeteria. It was in a German university. I was sitting in the cafeteria with my German coworkers, and I turned around. I'm like looking around at the students. And the German students, like, yeah, there were a few that wore glasses, but there weren't that many students wearing glasses. And it was so interesting to me. So I I turned to my coworkers. I'm like, did you notice like Germans don't really wear glasses as much as what I'm used to in North America. And I didn't get an answer. I have no idea. I still have no idea. Maybe Germans wear glasses. I don't know. I just felt like they didn't wear as much glasses as we did in North America. But one thing my coworker told me really stood out for me. She turned to me like, she's like, oh, I used to wear glasses. I had -7 diopters when I was a kid. And I was like, what? But you don't wear glasses now. What did you do? And she said, oh, the doctor just gave me a bunch of different glasses and I wore them, and eventually my eyesight got better. And I was like, what? Like, that was the first time where I heard wearing glasses can actually improve your eyesight, because my experience was not like that. You wear glasses, and every year it just gets worse and worse and worse. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I didn't really like go deep into this idea. I just put it in the back of my head. I'm like, that's interesting. Let me just store that for the future. Whenever it makes sense, I'll pull it out. Listen, right now, it makes sense. She probably is doing the same thing that I'm doing right now. She probably did the same thing that I'm doing right now, by the way. So then fast forward a few years later. No, not even a few years. A year or so later. Yeah, 2 years later, something like that. I kind of like put this thought aside. I was like giving up on getting rid of my glasses. I wasn't 25 yet, so I wasn't even thinking about laser. And then one day I was just in the living room with my family, and I was actually in the kitchen looking out into the living room, and I was not wearing my glasses at that time. I was not wearing my glasses at that time. I would do this thing where I would take off my glasses at home and literally walk around almost blind. And with -5, you can't see anything. So I couldn't see anything, but I just felt more comfortable at home not wearing my glasses. And then I looked into the living room, and I literally saw that I could not see my parents' faces. Like, I could see like a blob of hair, I could see their skin tone, but everything just looked like pixels to me. Like, it was so blurry. It was so bad. And I was so upset. I was devastated. I was like, literally turned to my mom. I'm like, do you think I will ever be able to get rid of my glasses and see perfectly? And she said, yes, I know you can. Like, she believed in me. I don't know how, I don't know why. She believed that I could do it. So I held on to that thought. I was like, I will do it one day. Get rid of my glasses. And then I kind of forgot about it again. I keep forgetting about it, okay? Because I could not find a solution. So I forgot about it. And then a year or so later, maybe 2 years later, I started a new job. And this job was, so by the way, between ages of 20 and 25, I was at -5 diopters. I was consistently at -5 diopters, and I was not like getting worse at all. And I have a few theories of why that is, but I'll save that for another video. So I was at -5, and then all of a sudden I have a new job, and my job is to use a microscope. I'm using a microscope in a lab, like indoors, for many hours a day. And fast forward 2 months of that, and I go to the optometrist, and she literally says, oh, you're at -5.5 right now. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, at that time, I didn't know it was because I was working on the microscope. But I was at -5.5 now, and I was just so fed up with it. I was like, whatever, I'll get the glasses, I'll wear it. It was the thickest pair of glasses that I've ever had. It gave me really bad headaches, but I was like, it's fine. I will deal with it. Whatever. And I'll never go back to the optometrist. Every time I do, I'm literally cursed. I keep getting a worse prescription. So I made the decision, I'm not going back to the optometrist. I'm going to wear this -5.5 and live my life. And then a few months, like maybe let's say 4 months later, I'm sitting in the living room one day visiting my parents, and my sister's also there. And we're just kind of like eating dinner. Again, me and my sister don't have our glasses on when we're eating dinner. Just kind of like eating dinner. And then my mom looks at us. She's like, kind of looks at us strangely. We're like, why is she looking at us? And then she says, "Oh, it looks like your eyes are so much better than they were before. Like you should go to the optometrist. I think both of your eyes have gotten better." I was like, "What? Are you serious?" Like we wanted to believe that. We held on to those words. We wanted to believe them. We believed them. So my sister goes to the optometrist first, and she does have a better prescription, probably like zero point 0.5 or 0.25 better, and also her astigmatism went down by zero point 0.5. And then a few weeks later, I go to the optometrist, and sure thing, my eyesight improved to by 0.25. So that's like really nothing. Not that I'm improving my eyesight. I know that like your eye fluctuates throughout the day like crazy, like not like crazy, but like it changes throughout the day. So 0.25 is not really like a big thing. But at that time, I was so happy. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And also, my astigmatism also dropped by zero point 0.5 for whatever reason. So, that optometrist actually told me something that was really interesting. I told her about my job, about of using a microscope, and she was like, "Oh, you should not use your distance vision glasses to look at a microscope because your eyes are going to work so much harder and they're going to get strained." And so I learned from her that I should get a reduced pair of glasses. Like she prescribed me zero point 0.5 lower for up close work. And we're getting a little bit close. Like this is the thing that I'm actually doing right now. Zero point 0.5 lower was actually not low enough, but it gave me the idea that, oh, I should not be wearing a high prescription to look up close, especially at a microscope, because I like taking off my glasses, I wouldn't have been able to see the microscope, like look into the microscope. So I had to use my thick glasses to look into the microscope, and that was way too close. It was too high of a prescription, and that's probably why I went from -5 to -5.5. Later, I found out why my eyes had actually improved a little bit. And the reason was because I stopped doing that project that was related to the microscope. I was moved to another project, was moving around a lot, and I really had very little near work, not even like a lot of computer work. So that was really interesting for me. And that was what started all of this, really. Me and my sister got so excited. We started Googling and YouTubing. We came across these eye exercises. And around that time, it was like summer of 2022. I just recently moved to a new town to start a new job. And I was so excited because this new town was really sunny and I was really close to my workplace. So I was like a 4-minute drive from my workplace. So I didn't have to commute, and I had so much time on my hands, and I was like, yes, like this is the time where I'm going to take the opportunity and do these eye exercises like crazy. I'll do them, I'll get my eyesight back. It's going to be great. So I wrote a schedule literally of like all the eye exercises that I was going to do. I'm going to do like 5 minutes of looking like left and right, 5 minutes of like circling my eyes around in circles, and then I'll do like 20 minutes of sunning, and I'll do 10 minutes of palming. And so I had all that in a schedule. I followed it the first day, and then the second day I forgot. And then a week later, I remembered that I forgot. I was like, oh shoot, I can't keep like, this is why my eyesight doesn't get better, is because I don't stick to an eye exercise schedule. I was so upset at myself, but like then work got busy and I just kind of forgot, left it aside. And then it was around August 2022 where my sister calls me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I found this person. His name is Meyer Schneider. He went from being legally blind to now having, I don't think perfect vision, but like considerably better vision now. And so I was like, okay, great. It's the same eye exercises, like based on the Bates method eye exercises, which are really like methods to relax your eyes, not necessarily address the elongated eyeball, which is the issue that I'm having here. But anyways, I didn't know that at that time. I was like, okay, great. So she got the book, she read it, and then she gave it to me. I was like, okay, I have to read this book. And it was like pretty like thick book, and I haven't read books in a really long time. And in the book it says you have to like not wear glasses. So I was like trying to read the book without my glasses, and I was up minus 5.5. So like I couldn't see past like 18 centimeters past my eyeballs. So I was like trying to read, and like it was like telling me to not do things up close, but I have to read the book to learn how to do the exercises. Anyways, I kind of gave up on it. I kind of got lazy, and I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just like leave it. But I didn't really do it. And I know that eye exercises work for some people, and I feel like the people that this works for are the people that do not have a high prescription. These people probably have just a little bit of like, they see a little bit blurry, but they've never worn glasses, and then they do these eye exercises, and that relaxes their ciliary spasm, their ciliary muscle, which is the muscle that tightens up when you're looking at something up close. And so for me, I had both that ciliary spasm where my the muscles of my eyes are stuck because they're looking up close, and I also had the elongated eyeball. Exercises were not addressing the elongated eyeball. Of course, I didn't really see much improvement. But one thing I did learn about that was to look at the distance. And that was the first time where I realized that I never look in the distance. So I started looking in the distance more. And I actually went and got, so I was a minus 5.5. I think I went and got my minus 5 dioptric glasses back, or minus 4.75. I don't really remember, but I got one of my older pairs of glasses. Yeah, I think like even like older than minus 5, because the minus 5 they took the lens out for me. So I think I had my minus 4.75 glasses. I wore them, and so those are the glasses that I walked around with. So and then in September, I was talking to my sister on the phone, and then I was telling her, "Oh, are you still doing those eye exercises? Like, how are your eyes doing?" And she's like, "Are you still doing that? Like, I'm not doing that anymore. I found this better method. This guy named Jake Steiner on YouTube. He has this thing called the Reduce Lens Method, and it's a completely different approach. It's not based on eye exercises, and you don't really need to like spend so much time doing them every day. You just like change your lifestyle a little bit and change some habits, and then your eye just gets better and better and better." So I was like, okay, this is weird. This is the first time I'm hearing this. So I started looking at, it's called the Jake Steiner YouTube channel. I started looking at that, and I was like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. And then I got so upset at myself. I was like, why does it always have to be the weird, complicated eye exercise thing that makes sense? And then the thing that's actually based on science is not going to work. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. I signed up to the Endmyopia email list. I got the 7-day free email guide where he talks all about this method and why it works, how it works. And then I got the email, and I was like a little bit like, got busy with work, and I was like, okay, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. But I was excited that I found this thing, and I had plans to continue with it. And then a month later, I was still not really following the instructions, not really doing it. And then something happened that really woke me up, and I realized my myopia, like my nearsightedness, is not a tomorrow problem, it's a today problem. It was a yesterday problem, but I didn't really know how to fix it. Now that I know how to fix it, it's a today problem. It's not a tomorrow problem. I need to deal with it right now. So I was in the kitchen cooking, and I was cooking without my glasses. And I did this thing before, like I mentioned so many times in this video. I would, when I got home, I would like take off my glasses and literally walk around blind. And sometimes I would hit things. Sometimes I would like not find the things that I need to find, but it's my home, so I was like comfortable. I was cooking without my glasses, and then I was moving some things around while my food was cooking, and I think I was like putting a plate on top of another plate on the counter, and I might have just like lightly dropped the plate onto the other plate, but I think, yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I dropped, lightly dropped it. And then I heard the sound of broken glass, and then I looked to see if I broke it, and I looked and I went really close. Okay, I went really close, and I saw that it was not broken. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's not broken. I continued cooking. Me and my husband had dinner, and then later that evening, my husband is cleaning the kitchen, and he turns to me. He's like, "Look, there's a broken plate. Did you know that there was a broken plate on the counter?" And I was like, "What? What broken plate? It wasn't broken when I looked at it." He's like, "It's broken." And so I was like, "Oh, let me go find my glasses." First, I had to go find my glasses. I went and found my glasses. I put my glasses on, and I saw that, yeah, it was broken. That was really the wake up call for me. I was like, I can't keep doing this. I need to get my eyesight back. It's no longer a fun, like, little adventure that I'm on. It's a safety issue. I need to deal with this. Like, I need to get my eyesight back, and I can't be dependent on glasses. Like, we don't want that. We really don't want that. So I was so lucky that around that time, Jake Steiner emailed. If you're on his email list, you get the monthly emails that he sends. And so he emailed, and then he said, "Oh, there's a free webinar version of the 7-day email guide. You can register and then have like videos every day instead of doing the email guide." So I was like, "Oh, yes, that is great." And yeah, I was really lazy to read, but I would totally watch a video at that time. By the way, right now, I'm not lazy to read. I'm in grad school right now, and I'm reading research papers left and right. But at that time, I was lazy. I was working, and like I got lazy to read the email guides. All right, my fault. I know. But I get onto the webinar all about the science behind myopia, why it progresses, and the science behind this method that Endmyopia that Jake Steiner discovered and created. And I know there's other people that do this, but he's really the one that has a website, and you can find it and try it. I learned about the science behind myopia and the science behind why this method works. I went and got my first pair of computer glasses, which are called differentials. And if you go onto the endmyopia.org website, by the way, everything that I did, I put them down in the description below. I used all the free resources. I didn't pay for any of the paid programs, but there are paid programs if you want to do a more structured approach and if you want support. But for me, like the free programs were enough. So check it out, okay? Um, so then I got my differential glasses, and then I started like really looking into my habits, because it's really the habits that you need to change. And I started going outside more, looking in the distance. And I had a few hiccups along the way, especially at the beginning, because I was not really following the steps properly. I was kind of like doing my own thing a little bit, which didn't really work. And I realized it didn't work because I was not following the instructions. So once I started following the instructions, I've been seeing a 0.25 diopter decrease every 3 to 4 months, around every 3 months, actually. I've been really good at this. So, my highest prescription back before I even started this, I was at minus 5.5 on my left eye and minus 5.25 on my right eye, with 0.5 astigmatism. And then currently, I'm wearing -3.25 on my left eye and -3 diopters on my right eye. I have not touched my astigmatism yet, but you can also reverse that. I just haven't, like, that's not the low hanging fruit for me at the moment. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I am still wearing glasses. It is a slow process. There is a learning curve. Like, you have to learn it, you have to do it properly, understand the science, understand your habits, change your habits. That's really the hard part. You have to change your habits. And after some time, it becomes second nature. And like I said, I'm still wearing glasses, but the amount of blur that I used to see at -5.5 diopters is so much more than the amount of blur that I'm seeing right now at -3. Like, I can see my food when I'm eating right now. That's how good it is. Um, Before -5.5, I could see it at less than 20 centimeters in front of my face. Currently, I'm measuring at around 31 to 34 centimeters of clarity until I see blur. So that is so exciting. It's so rewarding. I feel so confident that I can do this. I'm really really taking care of my eyesight. Yeah, so I'm so happy right now. I really wake up every day hopeful, and sometimes I have these clear flashes like after I've done like after I've had a really nice day outside, looking a lot in the distance, or maybe doing a sport that required a lot of peripheral vision, and I had good sleep, the next day I will have like clear flashes like crazy, and it's so fun. So, if you have myopia or nearsightedness, I just want to let you know that I know it is hard. Like, it's really hard waking up and not really seeing, like, having to find your glasses to go about your day. It's really hard. I've been there, I'm still there, but just know that you can reverse your myopia. You have to take some steps, change your habits. I really, really want to encourage you to look into this method and try it for yourself. You do not have to believe me. Like, I really don't want you to believe me, but try it yourself and then you will believe yourself. Okay. And I just know that more and more people are going to know this method sooner rather than later. And like later, many years probably, it'll become common knowledge. Right now, it is not common knowledge. Okay. But you can reverse your myopia. I'm doing it. Thousands of other people are doing it. And with that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.